Scientists have discovered something disturbing about the human brain, something that explains why 97% of people live lives of quiet desperation, trapped in endless cycles of problems they never seem able to solve. They discovered that there is a phantom program running in your subconscious mind, a program that was not created by you. This program decides how much money you are allowed to make, what kind of relationships you attract, whether you will be healthy or sick, whether you will be happy or miserable. And the scariest part, it was implanted in you before you even had the chance to defend yourself. Ancient spiritual masters knew this thousands of years ago. They called it Maya, illusion, matrix. But today, with modern neuroscience, we can prove they were right. There is a conspiracy against your happiness, a conspiracy against your success, a conspiracy against your spiritual awakening, and it's happening inside your own mind. But I have discovered how to break this code, how to completely reprogram your reality, how to free yourself from this mental prison once and for all. If you're ready to discover the most dangerous truth in the world, the truth they don't want you to know, then don't move from this spot for the next few minutes. Your freedom is at stake. Who is programming your thoughts? The hidden truth nobody wants to reveal. Prologue, the awakening of a new consciousness. Have you ever stopped to wonder why some days you wake up motivated and full of hope, while others seem to carry an invisible weight that pulls you down? Why do certain people manage to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable, while others surrender at the first challenge? The answer to these questions is closer than you imagine. It lies in understanding a fundamental truth that few have the courage to reveal. Your thoughts are not completely your own. There is mental programming happening constantly, and most people live their entire lives without realizing who or what is behind the remote control of their minds. Today, we will embark on a journey of spiritual discovery and personal transformation. We will unveil the mysteries behind mental programming and, more importantly, learn how to reprogram our minds for a life of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment. Prepare to question everything you believe you know about yourself and discover the unlimited power that exists within you. Chapter 1. The Invisible Mental Matrix. We live surrounded by an invisible matrix of mental programming. From the moment we wake up until we go to sleep, we are bombarded with messages, suggestions, and influences that shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways we rarely perceive. This programming begins early. In childhood, we absorb the beliefs of our parents, teachers, and community like sponges. You're not good enough. Life is hard. Money is dirty. You have to work hard to achieve anything. These and thousands of other limiting beliefs are implanted in our subconscious mind before we even develop the capacity to question them. The media continues this programming process in adulthood. News broadcasts bombard us with negativity, making us believe the world is a dangerous and hostile place. Movies and series reinforce behavioral patterns and expectations about relationships, success, and happiness. Social networks create impossible standards of comparison that feed feelings of inadequacy and envy. But here's the liberating truth that no one wants you to discover. You have the power to completely reprogram your mind. You can choose which thoughts to cultivate, which beliefs to embrace, and which reality to create for yourself. True spirituality is not about following external dogmas, but about awakening to the divine power that already exists within you. Chapter 2. The Hidden Programmers of Your Mind. To understand how to reprogram your mind, we first need to identify who are the hidden programmers that have influenced your thoughts throughout your life. Knowing the enemy is the first step to victory. The fear programmer. This is perhaps the most powerful of all. Fear is a control tool used by governments, religions, media, and even people close to us. If you don't do this, something terrible will happen. The world is full of dangers. You can't trust anyone. These messages create a constant state of anxiety and limitation, preventing us from taking risks, growing, and reaching our maximum potential. The scarcity programmer. There isn't enough for everyone. You need to fight to get your share. If someone succeeds, it means there are fewer opportunities for you. This programming creates a mentality of destructive competition and prevents us from seeing the infinite possibilities of abundance that the universe offers. The comparison programmer. Social networks and media in general make us constantly compare our lives with others. But here's the secret. You're comparing your inner reality with all the fears, insecurities, and difficulties with the carefully edited outer image that others project. This comparison is always unfair and always leads to dissatisfaction. The past programmer. You've always been this way. People from your family never achieve this. Because of what happened to you, you'll never be able to. These voices try to convince you that your past determines your future, when the spiritual truth is that every moment is a new opportunity for creation. Chapter 3. The spiritual science of mental reprogramming. The intersection between spirituality and science reveals fascinating truths about the functioning of our mind. Research in neuroplasticity shows that our brain can be literally reprogrammed at any age. Every thought you have creates new neural connections, and repeated thoughts create neural highways that become our automatic behavioral patterns. This means you are not a victim of your genetics, your past, or your circumstances. You are the architect of your own mental experience and consequently of your external reality. When you understand this deeply, not as an intellectual concept but as a lived truth, your entire life changes. Meditation, an ancient spiritual practice, is actually an advanced technology of mental reprogramming. When we meditate, we create space between our automatic thoughts and our true essence. In that space, we discover that we are not our thoughts. We are the consciousness that observes thoughts, and if we are not our thoughts, we can choose which ones to cultivate and which to discard. Prayer, when understood correctly, is not a beggar's request to an external force, but a dialogue with the infinite intelligence that permeates the entire universe and also exists within us. It is a moment of alignment with higher frequencies of love, gratitude, and possibility. Creative visualization uses the same mental mechanism that creates our fears and limitations, but consciously and directed toward our goals. When we visualize with emotion and repetition, our subconscious cannot distinguish between imagined and real experience, beginning to create pathways to manifest what we visualize. Chapter 4. The Masters of Mental Reprogramming. Throughout history, great spiritual masters discovered and taught the secrets of mental reprogramming, although they used different languages and metaphors. Jesus spoke about the kingdom of heaven that is within us. Buddha taught about the illusory nature of mental suffering. Hindu masters spoke about Maya, the illusion of separation that creates all human suffering. They all pointed to the same fundamental truth. The reality we experience is created by our thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. Changing the mind is changing the world. Jesus and the power of faith. All things are possible to him who believes. This is not a magical promise, but a scientific description of how the mind works. When you truly believe in something, not just intellectually, but at all levels of your being, you activate conscious and unconscious forces that work to make that belief reality. Buddha and the liberation from suffering. Buddha taught that all suffering comes from attachment to thoughts and beliefs about how things should be. When we release these attachments and accept the present moment as it is, we find peace. This doesn't mean passivity, but rather action from a place of clarity and power, not despair and resistance. The masters of Advaita and non-duality. These teachings point to the truth that there is no real separation between you and the universe. You are not trying to get things from a hostile universe. You are the universe expressing itself through a unique human form. When you understand this, life becomes a creative dance, not a battle for survival. Chapter 5. The Hidden Power of Words and Affirmations. The words you use, both aloud and in your internal dialogues, are literal spells that shape your reality. The word abracadabra, used by magicians, comes from the Aramaic avracadabra, which means, I create as I speak. Our ancestors understood something that modern science is rediscovering. Words have real creative power. When you say, I am poor, I never achieve anything, I always fail in relationships, you are programming your subconscious to create evidence that confirms these statements. Your subconscious is like an obedient servant that works tirelessly to make your beliefs about yourself and life true. Positive affirmations work because they reprogram these internal statements. But there is an art to making effective affirmations. They need to be formulated in the present, as if they were already true. They need to be emotionally charged, and they need to be repeated with consistency until they become your new default programming. Examples of powerful affirmations. I am abundant and prosperous in all areas of my life. I attract healthy and loving relationships. I have all the internal resources necessary to achieve my goals. I am a unique and valuable expression of universal consciousness. Every day, in every way, I am improving and growing. Chapter 6. The Law of Attraction Unveiled. The law of attraction is not magical thinking or wishful thinking. It is the description of a fundamental principle of how consciousness creates experience. You are constantly attracting experiences that correspond to your dominant internal vibration. Your most frequent thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and expectations. Most people use the law of attraction inversely without realizing it. They focus on what they don't want, constantly worry about problems, repeatedly talk about their difficulties, and then wonder why they continue attracting more of the same. To use the law of attraction consciously, you need 1. Absolute clarity. Know exactly what you want, not just what you don't want. The universe responds to specificity. The clearer you are about your desires, the more easily they manifest. 2. Emotional alignment. Your emotions are your internal GPS system. When you feel good thinking about your goals, you're aligned with them. When you feel bad, there's resistance that needs to be dissolved. 3. Inspired action. The law of attraction doesn't replace action. It inspires the right action at the right time. When you're aligned with your desires, opportunities appear and you feel inspiration to act on them. 4. Detachment from how. Your job is to define the what and let the universe take care of the how. When you try to control all the details of how your desires manifest, you create resistance that blocks the natural flow of abundance. Chapter 7. Breaking the Chains of the Past. One of the biggest lies we're told is that we are products of our past. You're this way because your parents were this way. Because of your childhood, you'll always have these problems. People from your social background never manage to escape that condition. All these statements are programmed limitations that keep us trapped in old patterns. The spiritual truth is that you are an infinite being having a temporary human experience. Your past doesn't define you. You define yourself through your present choices. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools of mental reprogramming, but true forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about releasing yourself from the emotional weight you've been carrying. When you forgive, you're not saying what happened was right. You're saying you will no longer allow past events to control your present and future. Exercise for releasing the past. 1. Identify a situation or person from your past that still awakens negative emotions in you. 2. Recognize that carrying this resentment is only harming you. 3. Visualize yourself sending love and forgiveness to the situation or person. 4. Declare, I release this past with love. I choose peace, freedom, and a bright future. 5. Whenever the memory returns, repeat the process until it loses its emotional charge. Chapter 8. The transformative power of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies a human being can emit. When you are in a genuine state of gratitude, it's impossible to be simultaneously in fear, anger, sadness, or any other low-vibration emotion. Gratitude is an instant emotional reset button. But gratitude goes far beyond just feeling good. It is a spiritual technology that reprograms your mind to notice abundance instead of scarcity, possibilities instead of limitations, blessings instead of problems. When you practice gratitude consistently, several things begin to happen. Your focus changes. You begin to notice more things to be grateful for. It's not that your life changes overnight, but your perception of life changes, and perception is reality. Your energy elevates. Gratitude generates positive energy that attracts more positive experiences. You become a magnet for good. Your relationships improve. People are naturally attracted to those who radiate gratitude and positivity. You become someone others want to be around. Your health improves. Studies show that gratitude reduces stress, improves sleep, strengthens the immune system, and even reduces blood pressure. Chapter 9. Meditation as mental upgrade technology. Meditation is perhaps the most powerful tool available for mental reprogramming and spiritual growth. It is not a specific religious practice, but a universal technology for consciousness development that can be used by anyone, regardless of their beliefs. When you meditate regularly, profound changes happen in your brain and life experience. You develop awareness of your thoughts. Most people are on mental autopilot, being dragged by any thought that appears. Meditation develops the ability to observe your thoughts without being dominated by them. You access states of deep peace. In these states, you directly experience your true nature beyond the drama of personality. You discover that peace, love, and happiness are not things you need to achieve. They are what you are when you remove all layers of mental programming. You develop intuition. In meditative states, you connect with deeper levels of wisdom. Solutions to problems appear spontaneously. You know which direction to take in life without needing to analyze everything mentally. You become less reactive. Situations that used to stress you or make you angry begin to have less power over you. You respond from a place of clarity and wisdom, not automatic emotional reactions. There isn't just one right way to meditate. Some people connect better with breathing meditation, others with mantras, others with visualizations, others with movement meditation like walking or dancing. The important thing is to find what resonates with you and practice consistently. Chapter 10. Creative Visualization. The mind's cinema. Your subconscious mind thinks in images and emotions, not words. Therefore, visualization is one of the most effective forms of communication with your subconscious and reprogramming limiting beliefs. When you consistently visualize a desired outcome with emotional richness, several things happen. Your brain creates new neural connections. As we mentioned, neuroplasticity means you can literally rewire your brain. Repeated visualization creates the same neural connections as real experience. You program your internal GPS. Your subconscious begins to notice opportunities and paths to manifest what you visualize. Doors that were previously invisible to you begin to open. You align your energy. When you visualize something with positive emotion, you elevate your vibration to match what you want to attract. You overcome fears and limitations. Visualization allows you to practice success mentally before it happens in external reality. This builds confidence and reduces anxiety. Advanced visualization technique. 1. Enter a relaxed state and close your eyes. 2. See yourself already living the desired result as if it were a movie. 3. Make the image as vivid as possible. Colors, sounds, textures. 4. Feel the emotions of having already achieved the goal. 5. Always end with gratitude, as if you had already received it. 6. Practice daily, preferably at the same time. Chapter 11. Mental fasting, detoxifying your consciousness. Just as we do physical fasts to detoxify the body, we need to do mental fasts to detoxify our consciousness. We live in an era of informational overdose where we are constantly bombarded with negative, superficial, or simply unnecessary inputs. A mental fast involves conscious periods of abstinence from negative news that usually doesn't affect your direct life. Social media that feeds comparison and distraction, toxic conversations that drain your energy, low-quality entertainment that numbs the mind, ruminating thoughts, repetitive worries about problems. During a mental fast, you replace these inputs with reading inspiring and educational texts, time in nature, meditation and contemplation, meaningful conversations, creative activities, physical exercises, moments of total silence. You'll be surprised by the mental clarity and creative energy that emerge when you stop overloading your mind with junk information. It's like removing a weight you didn't even know you were carrying. Chapter 12. Emotional Alchemy, Transforming Lead into Gold. Emotions are neither good nor bad in themselves. They are energy and information. The problem arises when we don't know how to process and transform low-frequency emotions into fuel for our growth. Emotional alchemy is the spiritual art of transforming any emotion into wisdom and power. Even emotions traditionally seen as negative contain gifts when we know how to extract them. Anger can be transformed into determination and courage to defend your values and create necessary changes. Fear can be transformed into wise prudence and energy to better prepare for challenges. Sadness can be transformed into deep compassion and capacity for emotional connection with others. Guilt can be transformed into responsibility and motivation to do better in the future. Envy can be transformed into inspiration and clarity about what you really desire. The process of emotional alchemy involves 1. Recognizing the emotion without judgment. 2. Feeling it fully in the body without trying to escape. 3. Asking what message or gift this emotion brings. 4. Extracting the useful wisdom or energy. 5. Releasing what no longer serves. 6. Integrating the learning into your life. Chapter 13. Relationships as mirrors of growth. Our relationships are the most accurate mirrors of our internal mental programming. They reflect our beliefs about love, worthiness, trust, and personal value. Therefore, working on relationships is a powerful form of spiritual growth and mental reprogramming. Law of the mirror. The characteristics that most bother us in others are usually aspects of ourselves that we don't want to recognize. Similarly, the qualities we most admire in others are dormant potentials within us. Law of relational attraction. We attract people who correspond to our dominant internal vibration. If you want better relationships, work first on your relationship with yourself. Law of projection. We frequently project onto others our own unhealed wounds. When we recognize and heal these wounds, our relationships automatically transform. Relational transformation. Exercise. 1. List 3 characteristics that most bother you in someone close. 2. Honestly explore where these characteristics exist in you, even subtly. 3. Send love and forgiveness to these parts of yourself. 4. Observe how your perception of the other person changes. 5. Notice how their behavior toward you also changes. Chapter 14. Abundance as natural state. One of the biggest limiting programs in our society is the belief that scarcity is natural and abundance is the exception. The spiritual truth is exactly the opposite. Live for a second in nature and you'll see abundance everywhere. Billions of stars, trillions of leaves, countless grains of sand. Scarcity is an illusion created by the limited mind. Abundance is the natural state of the universe, and therefore your natural state too. You don't need to create abundance. You just need to remove the mental blocks that prevent its natural flow. Common blocks to abundance. Guilt for wanting more. It's selfish to want more when others have less. Fear of losing. If I get it, I might lose it later. Belief of unworthiness. I don't deserve it. Or, people like me don't achieve this. Fear of judgment. What will others think if I'm successful? Drama addiction. We unconsciously create problems because drama gives us a sense of identity. Reprogramming for abundance. Practice gratitude for what you already have. Celebrate others. Success instead of feeling envy. Visualize abundance flowing to you naturally. Remove people and influences that reinforce scarcity mentality. Act from abundance. Be generous even before having much. Chapter 15. Purpose as inner compass. Each person is born with unique seeds of potential. Discovering and living your purpose is not just about personal fulfillment, it's about contributing your unique gifts to humanity's evolution. When you're aligned with your purpose, life flows with an ease and meaning that cannot be found anywhere else. Signs you're living outside your purpose. Constant feeling that something is missing, boredom or lack of enthusiasm for life, frequent envy of others' lives, feeling of pretending or playing a role, low energy and chronic fatigue without medical cause, superficial relationships, compulsive search for distractions and entertainment. Signs you're aligned with your purpose, natural enthusiasm and abundant energy. Time flies when you're doing what you love, sense of contribution and meaning, frequent synchronicities and coincidences. People and resources naturally appear to support your projects. Even challenges are seen as growth opportunities. Inner peace, independent of external circumstances. To discover your purpose, ask yourself, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? When you were a child, what did you dream about before being realistic? What problems in the world bother you most and would you like to help solve? What activities make you lose track of time? Chapter 16. Creating your new mental programming. Now that you understand the mechanisms of mental programming and have tools to transform it, it's time to consciously create your new programming. This doesn't happen overnight, but with consistency and intention, you can completely rewrite the mental software that runs your life. Step 1. Mental audit. Spend a week observing your automatic thoughts without judgment. Note thought patterns you notice, especially those that generate negative emotions or limit your possibilities. Step 2. Identifying limiting beliefs. For each area of your life where you're not satisfied, relationships, money, health, career, identify the underlying beliefs that are creating these experiences. Step 3. Creating new beliefs. For each limiting belief, create a corresponding empowered belief. Make sure the new beliefs are positive, in the present tense, and emotionally inspiring to you. Step 4. Daily reprogramming program. Create a daily routine that includes 10 minutes of meditation upon waking, positive affirmations repeated with emotion, 10 minutes of visualizing your goals, gratitude before sleeping, mental fasting from negative inputs. Step 5. Aligned action. Begin taking small actions that are aligned with your new beliefs, even if your old programming resists. Consistent action reinforces the new programming. Step 6. Support community. Surround yourself with people who support your new programming and distance yourself from those who reinforce old limitations. Your social environment has enormous influence over your thoughts. Chapter 17. The journey never ends. Mental reprogramming is not a destination, it's a continuous journey of growth and discovery. Even when you master one level of consciousness, new challenges and opportunities appear to take you even higher. It's important to understand that relapses into old patterns are normal and part of the process. Your old mind was built over decades. It won't be completely replaced in a few weeks. Be patient and compassionate with yourself during the process. Each day is an opportunity to consciously choose which thoughts to cultivate, which emotions to feed, and which actions to take. You are literally creating your future reality through your present choices. Remember, you are not a victim of your past programming, your current circumstances, or any external force. You are an infinitely powerful spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Within you exists all the wisdom, love, and power necessary to create the life of your dreams. Conclusion: the truth that liberates. The hidden truth that nobody wants to reveal is this: you always had the power. You were always the main programmer of your own mind. You were always the creator of your own experience. The only things that prevented you from realizing this were the layers of programming that convinced you otherwise. Now you know the truth. You know the tools. You understand the process. What's missing is just one thing: the decision to use this knowledge to transform your life. This is not just information to be read and forgotten. This is a map to a treasure that already exists within you, the treasure of your own divinity, your unlimited power to create, and your capacity to live a life of purpose, abundance, and deep joy. The journey begins now. With each breath, you can choose thoughts that elevate instead of diminish. With each interaction, you can choose love instead of fear. With each challenge, you can choose growth instead of victimization. You don't need anyone's permission to be happy, prosperous, healthy, and fulfilled. You don't need to wait for perfect circumstances or others' approval. You can immediately begin living from your new mental programming. The universe is conspiring in your favor. Your soul is calling you home, home to who you really are beyond all programmed limitations. Epilogue: your new beginning. This moment, right now, while you hear these words, is the most powerful moment of your life. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. Because now is the only moment where you have real power to make transformative choices. You can close this video and return to old patterns, letting these ideas become just more information accumulated in your mind. Or you can make the decision that will change everything, the decision to become the conscious programmer of your own life. If you choose the second path, here is your first practical exercise. New beginning exercise. 1. Stop for a moment and place your hand on your heart. 2. Breathe deeply 3 times, feeling your connection with life. 3. Declare aloud: I choose to be the programmer of my own mind. I choose to create a life of love, abundance, and purpose. 4. Feel the truth and power of these words reverberating throughout your entire being. Commit to taking a small step today toward the life you truly desire. The next steps. Your transformation begins with small, consistent steps. Today, practice 5 minutes of gratitude before sleeping. This week, implement 1 daily positive affirmation. This month, establish a regular meditation practice. This year, live consciously from your new programming. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Millions of people around the world are awakening to these same truths. You are part of a consciousness revolution that is transforming humanity from within. The old programming of scarcity, fear, and separation is being replaced by new programming of abundance, love, and unity. You are not just a beneficiary of this transformation. You are an active agent of it. Every positive thought you choose, every moment of love you express, every action aligned with your higher purpose contributes to elevating humanity's collective consciousness. You came to this planet at this specific moment in history to be part of this transformation. Your struggles, your gifts, your unique experiences, all of this was preparation for this moment of awakening. The truth was always simple. You are love in human form, temporarily experiencing the illusion of separation to remember your true divine nature. Now you are remembering. Now you are awakening. Now you are returning home to yourself. Welcome to the first day of your new life. The best is yet to come. The mind is everything, what you think you become. Buddha, be the change you want to see in the world. Gandhi, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Jesus, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. Rumi, your transformation journey begins now. The power was always within you.